dance. Okay, guys. Here we are. This is the ESO Podcast number 4, in which we will be discussing Elder Scrolls Online coming to consoles. Yes, consoles. Pretty crazy. We'll also be talking about Alliance Points, which is the PvP currency. And we'll have Jordan briefly explain how he is able to play Elder Scrolls Online and what was his initial thoughts on the game and the stage that it's at, of course. And then a couple other miscellaneous topics that we picked up through this past week with E3 and the whole conference going on. So we also have a new video that came out during the week of the conference, and we're going to show that right now. This is the new trailer for Elder Scrolls Online.
Get your popcorn.
This honestly gave me chills the first time I watched it, so I was super pumped.
It's a good video, yeah.
A new dawn is upon us. Never have our choices weighed more heavily. To stand alone, or to fight side by side. Against the encroaching forces of oblivion.
Say word, son. Say word.
That was awesome. That's a good video. I like that video.
It
does pump you up a bit, huh?
It really does get you pumped up, right?
I love the way the dark anchor looks when it comes crashing down in the middle of that town.
Oh, it looks so good.
Really cool.
So we'll also have that video playing in the background here. In case anybody missed it, the audio will not be on, but it's there if you want to watch it again instead of looking at our ugly faces. It is professional.
So professional.
Who made this?
I don't know, but he did a damn good job.
Yeah, he did. I will shake his hand one of these days. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into this, I guess. So the first topic is Elder Scrolls is coming to consoles. What the F?
GG! I think it's a good thing. I'm happy. I think it's good. I think that, what's up?
What's up? I was just gonna say that.
What did you say?
It's crazy, right? Like, the last MMO that tried to do some sort of console with the PC thing was Final Fantasy XI Online, and they did that also with Phantasy Star Online, I think, for a little while, if I remember correctly.
Dreamcast, too.
Yes. But there's no cross-platform in this, so that makes it a little bit weird.
Segregation, yeah.
That's segregation.
I think that, it is segregation, it is. But I think that ESO coming out on consoles, next-gen consoles, is extremely good for the game. It's going to absolutely devastate the fucking sales charts. It's going to be amazing. I think it's going to sell a lot more copies now, which is going to have such a big player base that ZeniMax Online Studios is going to be forced to make and pump out new content and keep the game fresh if so many millions of people are playing.
Right.
And I know that it appears that it's being pushed back because of the consoles to spring 2014, which is right on the video. Your adventure awaits in spring 2014. I know that's in the video, I know, but I think it's a good thing. I know we have to wait longer, but that means more development time, possibly more content, a better polish.
Well, at the same time, though, you think they're pushing it back because of that, but at the same time, instead of them focusing on PC alone, they have not only PC, but Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And then obviously they have Mac support too, which is like, I don't understand why. I mean, I have a Mac, but I wouldn't play Elder Scrolls Online on the Mac. Like,
me either.
Why waste time for that? I don't know about that. Anyways. But yeah, I mean, it does give them more time to polish the game, but at the same time, they're now polishing the game for 3 different, it's hard to know.
I get it. No, I understand. But I mean, that's why it's being pushed back. I sincerely believe that the release date is changing due to the console thing. But they stated in all these interviews that they've always wanted to do this. This was a plan from the beginning, which means it was probably a plan from the start to release in 2014 anyway. I mean,
right.
The consoles don't come out until what? November this year. So I don't know. I don't mind it at all. I think it's a good thing for the sales of the game. It's going to be good for the future of the game in terms of
definitely good for the sales of the game.
Come out.
There's no doubt.
It's great that it's going to be segregated too in terms of Xbox One can only play with Xbox One folks. That'll be 12 people in the whole server because no one's buying the Xbox One. Then there'll be thousands of players in the PS4 server and thousands upon thousands in the PC server. So
well,
it's going to be good.
This is something we got to think about too. Now, they are separate. They're separate from each other. So you have your Xbox One servers, you have your PlayStation 4 servers, you have your PC servers. Now, one of the main reasons that I was so pumped about this game was I want to be able to play this game with my friends. Now, most of my friends have a PC that they can play games on. Most of them. But now that they have the option to play on the Xbox One or to play on the PS4, I'm worried that those friends would rather do that than, try to have a nice enough computer to run max settings on the PC. So that's where that comes into play.
I think you're right there. I think a lot of people are going to opt to play on console just because a lot of people do the whole keyboard and mouse versus controller war, that shit is going to go on forever. I mean, there's always going to be fanboys on the other side spilling blood over this stupid useless argument. Who cares, right? If you want to play it on console, you have that ability to now. But if your friend is playing on PC and you're playing on console, yeah, you can't play together. That does suck.
Right.
But it's their choice. They want to spend money on a gaming rig that can play it on PC, where they get a better control system with the keyboard and mouse, or if they, want to get a cheaper console, which is more affordable to people, like a PS4 for $400, and then play it on that. I mean, I get why they would go with that alternative. But for me personally, I'm gonna be the elitist PC guy and say that I won't even be buying a console. I'll just be playing the PC. Anyway.
Well, and then this is something else though that you have to consider. So we all know now that the open beta for Elder Scrolls Online will be first available for the PS4. Now, I'm not saying I want to buy a PS4, but I do want to be in the open beta for Elder Scrolls Online as soon as possible. Now,
they stated that the first open beta is going to be for PS4 only.
Yes, it's exclusive to PS4.
When did they say that?
They said that a long time. That was announced a while ago.
Don't you say that?
I just said it. I can't believe you didn't know that yet.
I didn't know that.
It's exclusive. The first open beta is exclusive to PS4. So do you want to counsel now, Soma?
This sucks, dude. Damn it. Why would they do that? Why are they trying to sell consoles to us?
I know. Yeah, I know, right? But that's PS4. PlayStation has been good at getting the exclusive title since, PlayStation 2. They've been doing it for a while now. Getting those exclusive titles, that's what they're good at. And it's not necessarily like exclusive. They just get exclusive early open beta.
Right.
All right.
If they launch some crazy thing saying pay $200 and get an epic mount, and get into the open beta before anyone else, I would probably do that. Let's be honest. I would feel like, here, take my money. Here's my checking account and routing number. Just I'll
throwing money at your computer screen. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is, now that we know that all the, the consoles and the PC are separate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if you had friends that play on a PS4, and you have a PC and a PlayStation 4, and you wanted the ability to have your account saved to where you could log in on the PS4 or the PC?
Oh, so let's say you have a PS4 and a gaming laptop, and you're playing on your gaming laptop on vacation, leveling up your Nightblade Dark Elf. You get home and you're like, okay, I want to play my Night Elf, Dark Elf Nightblade on my TV and my PS4 in my bedroom. I can put the gaming laptop away. Will I be able to log on to my character? I'm guessing no.
I'm guessing no either.
I'm guessing
But that would be cool.
I think that they've already stated, though, that there's going to be subtle differences in the UI and in the actual game because of it.
Yes, the UI will be different. You'll have console-based UI for the consoles, and that's one of the major differences.
First of all, how are players going to communicate with each other? Is it going to be all voice-based? Second of all, how are they going to work it in terms of how you use your hotbar and your 6 abilities?
Right.
There's not that many buttons on a controller, right? Plus, you have to be able to talk to characters, interact with people. You need buttons for that. Where do the buttons come in for your 5 normal abilities and your 6th ultimate ability? Where does that come in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the UI is the major difference, right, between console and PC. So,
right.
I don't know exactly how they're gonna lay everything out, but we'll see, I guess. I will be getting the game for PC. I'm already set up to. I have a nice PC. I will be able to run the game at or at max or near. I would expect to be able to run it at max settings.
I'll be running at max, damn straight.
Yeah. So I have no reason to not get it for the PC. However, I do understand that there are people out there that don't have a great PC, and it'd be cheaper to just buy a console than to get a PC.
I'm happy for those guys. So. Seriously, I think it's a good thing. Normally, in the past, my attitude has been, oh my god, I can't believe that they're, bringing it to consoles as PC game exclusive. It's supposed to be PC only. I used to get all butthurt and bitchy because I was impatient and I wanted the game now.
Yeah.
And I know that developing for a console too, multiple platforms, it's gonna increase development time. When I was a younger lad, that kind of shit would piss me off. But now I like it. I'm happy that it's gonna be a little bit of time now, extra time in development. I'm happy that it's coming to consoles. More people are gonna be buying it, which means more money for future developments for the game. It's just overall good. Yeah. And even if PC doesn't get controller support, and people are butthurt about that, whatever, you can get it on PS4 and play with your PS4 buddies. And a lot of people are going to get the PS4, I guarantee you. So
yeah, I mean, as far as the console war goes right now, with what we've seen at E3 this past week, yeah, PlayStation 4 wins that. I don't really think there's any discussion about that. Right. I don't think there's no war. There's no Xbox, what you could bring up to change my mind.
Yeah, the Xbox One is going the way of the Starks of Winterfell, and we all know how that ends up for them. So they're not making the best decisions.
Maybe some people don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
the PS4 is going crazy, but
yeah, they are. As far as the reveals and everything goes with everything, I mean, it just looks like a superior system right now. But you never know. It's still months before things are released. We'll see what happens, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, that's, I guess, pretty much the main announcement from this entire E3 week. It will be coming to both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, which is pretty awesome. Basically solidifies itself in the gaming community for years to come, as long as it's on all those systems.
Big time.
They're going to make a lot of money, and I'm happy. Make your money. Keep producing more content. As long as this game... If they do this game right with it being on 3 different systems, I mean, this game could be around for a long, long time. And I'm super excited.
Telling you right now, yeah, the future of this game is very bright. Lens flares need to be involved. It's that bright. Like, it's gonna be good.
All right. Okay, so lens flares. All right, so the next thing that we wanted to talk about that we really thought was a cool thing, that was again announced at E3 this past week, is Alliance points. So we kind of knew how PvP was going to work in general as far as holding keeps and, you know, controlling resources and stuff like that, but we didn't actually know if there was any how the progression really worked in PvP, if there was anything that you got that you could spend points on, or how that worked, how to unlock the skill trees. But now we know, and it's Alliance points. So basically, the rundown is when you kill somebody, you get Alliance points. When you capture a keep, you get Alliance points. The longer you hold that keep, you gain Alliance points. And then those points are then spent on gear. Now, we don't know whether or not there's a PvP, like, specific stat in the game.
Nope, there's not.
So there's not.
No specific stat, no specific PvP only kind of gear. It's all universal stats.
So there you go. Either way, you spend your Alliance points on gear that you acquire through, you know, participating in the PvP, and you can also unlock your skill trees with those Alliance points. So now we know exactly,
and stuff like
yep,
that,
and consumables. So now we know exactly how to unlock the different skill trees that they've noted are available through PvP, and that's with gaining skill
4
points.
trees too.
4 separate trees, yes. So that's pretty cool. That brings a lot to the table as far as PvP, that you actually have a resource to work for. And
yeah, and that's something that we were talking about earlier about Alliance points and how people are going to spend their points. And you also will be spending Alliance points on siege weaponry like trebuchets and catapults, etc. in Cyrodiil to take enemy keeps, etc. And in order to gain Alliance points, you're going to need to take over keeps and hold them, so you're going to need to spend those points. Who is going to be the guy that says, all right, I know I don't really feel like buying this new sword, so I'm going to spend my points instead on this catapult that we can all share for the good of the group? Who's going to be that asshole?
What if
Who's going to be the whipping boy?
What if, say, it costs 100... This is obviously... We have no idea what the exchange rate is, but... Say it costs 100 Alliance points to get a trebuchet, and say you get, 10 points per kill. What if you rack up like 20 kills with the trebuchet, Just back there destroying people. You have no idea.
As long as you can gain back points for spending your points on those public things that people are going to need, those group-based things that people need, like trebuchets and catapults, if I spend my 100 points on a catapult for my PvP group, and it gets kills and it does damage to walls, do I get, reciprocated for my
sure.
earlier investment? I hope
you should, but if you don't,
otherwise
then
I'm gonna make Joe blow buy instead.
I know. I was just gonna say. I mean, we are the leader. We're gonna be the leaders of our guild. So if we don't get reimbursed, well, then someone else is buying it. Or you're getting the boot.
And that reminds me, I'm happy you brought that up. I'm gonna be making my own little side guild, but at first, when the game first launches, I am gonna be playing Daggerfall Covenant with Deagen. So, at first, yes, I will be playing with Deagen. We're gonna be playing together instead of the Cole. I'll be going Ebonheart. He'll be going Daggerfall. I'm gonna play with him Daggerfall and make Ebonheart stuff later, just to let you guys know. But
doesn't mean people that are from Soma stream or whatever, they can't come join us if they want to play initially with us. I mean, we don't know how large the guilds can get up to right now. That's another big question that I haven't even really thought about yet. But hopefully they can, take a lot of people in. But Yes, we will be doing that. Yeah, all that stuff doesn't really matter right now. But yeah, we'll be rocking out for sure. But that's kind of alliance points. It's interesting that they added it. I'm glad it's in there. It gives you something to actually go into PvP and work towards. So it's fun.
And with PvP, they also talked about leaderboards too, where there's going to be a campaign-wide leaderboard, and it's going to show the top 100 people, their class, their name, their level, or I guess everyone's level 50 in PvP if you go into Cyrodiil. Even at level 10, you're going to be scaled to 50. But it's going to show like the best PvP gear, and there's also going to be a class-only leaderboard that will go across all 3 factions. So if you're a Templar and you're the best Templar fighting in Cyrodiil in your campaign, all of the thousands or hundreds or whatever of Templar will be ranked in a ranking, and then you'll see yourself at number 1, even if there's Aldmeri and Daggerfall and Ebonheart people in the list, you can be ahead of everyone. So that's really cool. They said something about possibly adding like a guild leaderboard, like who's the best PvPer in the guild kind of stuff. That would be really cool too.
I mean, everybody likes leaderboards. Everybody likes stuff like that. Everybody wants to know where they rank. It gives them something to try. You gotta beat this guy. It not only does it fuel the community as far as competition goes, but it always gives you something to work towards. There's always somebody better than you, unless you're me, and then, well, everybody's not as good as me, so.
Right. Yeah, Deagen. Right. That's awesome.
Your face when I said that.
I'm just gonna pander to you. Yeah, there, Deagen. There.
Oh, your face was classic.
I bet you celebrate when you take a shit too, don't you, Deagen?
I do. Pictures to all my friends. Group text.
Instagram that stuff.
All right, so that's pretty much alliance points. I mean, I'm happy that they actually are adding in a PvP currency. I think it's cool. All right, and on to our third topic, I think. Do we have anything else we want to discuss with that?
In terms of... No, I guess not. No, I guess that about covers it. There's not much we can really say about alliance points until we see it on our screens. But
right.
I think it's a necessary system, for PvP. You need some kind of currency, some kind of progression in PvP. And it's one that we're used to, I mean, we've seen that kind of stuff in other MMOs, so makes sense.
Definitely. Cool. All right. On to the third topic, which is Jordan somehow got to play Elder Scrolls Online this past weekend. And I logged onto Skype one day to get this long couple messages of him bragging to me about being able to play it.
Shush, dude.
Now, I know Jordan, the game is under an NDA, and he obviously cannot discuss most of what he was able to see and do. However, what we are going to have him talk about is how he thinks the game is at its current state in the development process, and how excited he is to see where it's at and hopefully where it ends up by the time it's in open beta and officially released.
Well, let's just go over it like this. I was lucky enough to receive access to a weekend beta, the last weekend beta that came out. I was able to play on Saturday for a long time.
I was on all day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I rotted, and in a good way though. And I tried all the classes, and I found the one that I was least likely to play at release, and decided to play that class just because that's my weird train of thinking. When I first logged into the game with my character, and the character creation is pretty deep, deeper than most MMOs. I can't really go into it though. And the way it's set up, like for your character creation, it's very easy to understand. It's smooth. It looks cool. I don't know how much I can say, But like, if you want to be like a heroic looking buff dude, you can. But if you want your character to look ugly and fat and like overweight, you can. Like, that's hilarious. Like, who doesn't want to play a fat, overweight, ugly, pink Argonian? Come on.
Me. I don't want to.
Yeah, I did not do that, and I did not name him Nasty Nate. I promise, I didn't. But anyway, so that's the character creation. Then I'm not going to tell you where specifically where I started, but I started in a starting zone on an island north of Skyrim. It was Ebonheart Pact, but and I started in a building. And I didn't get to see the epic intro, like they were talking about how like you start off, imprisoned by Molag Bal, and you have to like go through the intro of the game. Like you didn't get to see that part. I didn't even start at level 1. But when I got in, I was immediately blown away after I pumped the graphics up, to as high as I could. I was immediately blown away by how the game looked and how smooth it looked when I moved and jumped around and stuff like that. And I was also really impressed with the UI and how easy it was to look at stats and skills and how clean and minimalistic it was. And that was such a breath of fresh air. It wasn't like tons of stats and information to read and small little icons and tons of shit like World of Warcraft or some other games. It was simple. And the actual I don't want to say too much. I don't even know if I've said too much already, but questing was fun. I cared about the quests. I cared about the characters and the quests for the most part. I really did.
Did they incorporate the lore like with the quests that you experienced so far? Or was it kind of just like miscellaneous quests?
Well, it was my decision. Really, like whenever I first got in, I was able to follow what, like, whenever you first play Morrowind and you get off the boat, you can go in that office and like go see Caius Cassius, whatever the guy's name is in Bruma, or whatever, or excuse me, for Oblivion or whatever game you're playing, and but you can either do that or just run off in the woods and say F that noise and do whatever you want. I just decided to F that noise and do whatever I want and not follow the main thing. So while I was out, just like in Skyrim, all of a sudden, like maybe like an NPC would come like hobbling up to you with like a hurt leg, and he's like, Ban has just attacked me. Can you please go help me? Follow my blood trail.
They stole my family's trinket.
Sure, something like that. Like your basic Skyrim or Oblivion quests.
Right.
And there was tons of little things like that to find. Or I could find NPCs that would get me on a quest chain that would merge with maybe a quest chain that I didn't pick up earlier, so I could like backpedal and kind of do other quests that I wasn't aware of earlier. And there was a lot of quests that would lead into other quests, which would like send me all over the starting area, and it all felt pretty organic and natural. And there was also like those little public dungeons, like they talk about, like caves and whatnot, that would pop up on the minimap, just like in Skyrim. And I could see, that was that cave, and it felt really like it felt like an MMO. It felt like I was in a zone, but it also felt like an Elder Scrolls game in terms of exploring and like dynamic events and like stuff like that. So it was a good mix.
Another question. Were you running around in first person or third person?
Both, but third person I enjoyed it a lot more. The field of view in first person was a little and they did announce that this beta weekend that they would implement the weapons and stuff like that, so you can see it in first person. So I was lucky enough to see that and play with it and feel it, and it did feel and look pretty good. But as other people have said that have played it at E3 and whatnot, combat's still a little floaty. It still isn't quite like whenever you swing a sword in Neverwinter, it feels like you're actually hitting an enemy.
The impact on it.
Yeah, you feel some impact sometimes with certain things, not so much with others, but it's, a very early closed beta, and they're still working on stuff, like some of the NPCs even had placeholder computerized voices, like they're not done with the game. Yeah. But even though it wasn't completely polished, it still was awesome. It still felt good. It was still really fun. And as I leveled up and was able to use more skills, which I won't talk about any skills or how I
As
actually
bad
played my
as you,
character.
I can tell you want to talk about it.
I want to so badly. Oh my god, I want to so bad. You have no idea. Like the first hour, I didn't even play. All I did was like look at the menus, memorize how everything worked. So I don't know why. I just was like, okay. I just sat in the starting room, didn't even bother leaving. I just wanted to learn the UI, learn the skill system, learn how the stats worked, and I just looked at everything I could, memorize the hotkeys.
Right.
I'm such a nerd. It's terrible. But when I actually got into it, though, oh man, I want to talk about it so bad, but I can't. But it feels like, in terms of how progression is with spells and abilities and whatnot, and the different trees, for races and whatnot, they announced at E3 that each race has its own skill line and like passive abilities, etc., whatnot, that you can unlock. And I looked at all the races that were available to me in the beta. They were all different, all very different, and all very cool. I want to say more. Fuck, I want to say more so bad, but I can't. But I can tell you this right now. I don't know if any of you that played World of Warcraft were ever in class and you were bored and wanting to play WoW, and you would like write down builds and skills that you wanted to use and what gear you wanted to find, and because you were really nerdy and that's how much you wanted to play. I haven't had that feeling since I was since I was 19 years old playing WoW. I haven't had that feeling of yearning to play something and thinking about it even when I wasn't playing. But this game, I can tell you, and this is from the pickiest, most elitist gamer, like, it's really hard for me to sink my time into a game for a really long time. It's got to be an amazing game. I'm already having those thoughts about how I want to build my character. It was so many options, and I just wanted to exercise all of them. I wanted to do so many different things with different race combos, different skill combos, different play styles. And if I'm already having those thoughts just from one Saturday session, I'm telling you right now, this game has huge potential to be the next big time sink that people want. And it's good. It's damn good.
So your overall impression of your long Saturday, but in overall short time playing the game, is that...
Okay, it's good. It's a good impression. Here, let me just recap, unbiased, as a non-ESO fan, or just a gamer in general that's been gaming for a long time. It is in early open beta. There is a lot of polish that needs to be done. There is a lot of work to be done with combat, with character movement, with enemy AI. There's bugs, but when the game was working as intended in most areas, it was awesome. And it does feel like an MMO. It does. And that's going to turn some people off, straight up. Especially with how you have to be in zones at a certain level, or if you go to a higher level zone, you'll get your ass kicked if you're too low level, etc.
Yeah.
And having to explore only in a certain area, like MMOs are, like in WoW. Like if you were level 18 and you were in Terran Mill and around that area, you had to stick around there. You couldn't go off to Arathi base and you get your ass kicked, right? It's gonna be like that, but it's still big enough where you can explore and find those Skyrim and Oblivion style side quests and story elements that make it really fun. It's really good. It's fantastic.
I'm super excited, and I'm
so happy.
Jealous of you. You got to play.
It was such, when I first was logging in, my heart was beating a little bit. I was like, am I gonna hate this? Is this in my dreams? Are they gonna be crushed? I was getting choked up. And then I got into it, and I immediately was like, oh, this looks way better than I thought. And then I started looking at the UI and everything, and I was like, oh, that's way easier and better than I thought it was going to be. And anyone that saw that leaked video from like 2 months ago or whatever, that guy that had everything like turned down really low, and that doesn't even come close to what it...
Well, yeah, we got some people talking...
Thumbs up. I'm excited.
Yeah, we got some people in chat talking right now about the business model, and honestly, I can tell you right now, it's not going to be free to play. It's absolutely not going to be free to play. With the fact that it's going to both PS4 and Xbox One, I mean, you're not going to get a free to play game on a console. It'd be like you're good. At the least, it's going to be buy to play. But I honestly think it's going to be buy to play with subscription. So,
PlanetSide 2 is coming out on PS4, and it's gonna be free. You can just download it on the PS4. You don't have to buy it at all, and you can play it right away on your PS4. As soon as you log into PS4 online or whatever the internet services thing is for PS4, you can download and play a PS2 and never choose to buy anything game and play that game for free. So there is going to be free-to-play titles on consoles, but this game, no way. Just the amount of people that are interested in the Elder Scrolls franchise, I guarantee you there's going to be a pay-for-bucks business model. Guaranteed. It's going to be $60. And then I think there's going to be an in-game store. And this is not based on anything I saw in the beta. I didn't see anything that indicates microtransactions at all. I have no idea. So there's no spoils or, breaking NDA, because I didn't see any of that crap, But I think, in my personal opinion, unbiased, I think it's going to be pay for a box, and then there's going to be an in-game store where you can maybe change the way you look or something like that.
Yeah,
that's it.
I really, really do not think that they would just allow anybody to just download this and play. I mean, there's too many people behind this game already. They know people will spend money on it, and it would be
absolutely
an astronomical thing if they just let people log in and play. I don't think it'll happen.
It would die really fast.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna happen. If it does, I would be amazed.
Fast. I take that back. This game doesn't have the potential to die right away. Not from what I can tell, it's not. If the lifespan of this game, based on kind of what I've seen, has potential to be massive, years and years. And if it was free to play, people could just jump in and be like, screw this game, I don't want to spend $1 on my armor, die. Screw this, I don't want to play. They can just drop off, leave whenever they want. That would be detrimental. But if you're paying $60 for the game, okay, this is an investment, this is $60, people are going to stick around longer, which is what ESO needs. That's why I think free-to-play MMOs which are based on longevity and replayability, going free-to-play in an MMO, I think is a mistake. I think having to pay for it gets people like, okay, this is an investment, let me sink time into it now. So I think it's a good thing that it's...
Right.
But I don't know for sure. But I hope so. I hope
this is something that I just kind of popped in my head while we were talking about business model and whatnot. So now that they're putting their time into this MMO and say it's $60 out of the gate, and then with there being Xbox One and PlayStation 4, they would, if there was no monthly subscription, which it's probably completely up in the air, I don't know either way, but any DLC that comes out could just be, or any new content that comes out could be released as DLC. They pay for that, they put it on their console, so that would be really, really easy for them, right? It'd be super easy. That way, if people don't want the expansion or whatever, they don't have to get it.
Right. But yeah, actually purchasing the game instead of going free to play, that's the best bet. Because as soon as you make an investment in a game, you put time in it because you spent $60, well, all of a sudden, man, I just spent 4 months leveling my character and all my friends play. It's going to go the way of WoW, where people are going to be like, I can't quit now. I paid money for this. Let's keep going. I hope it goes the way of WoW, where people feel invested with their character and time, and it has a long life. Yeah. And I feel like a price on the box itself will help for that.
Definitely.
But, yeah.
So that is the rundown of Jordan and his Elder Scrolls Online experience. He's very...
I wish I could say more.
He's been very positive about the whole experience, which is nothing but good news for anybody who's excited about the game in general and hoping to get into closed beta. So,
and I'm picky too, man. I'm picky, and I will tear a game apart, even if I'm really excited and biased. It doesn't matter. Like when I finally get my hands on it, I know when I get that gut feeling of there's no way I can keep playing this, like I got with Neverwinter or something like that, or when I know, wow, this is something I'm gonna rot in front of for years and years and become morbidly obese because of, and that's ESO. So it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Okay, and a few other miscellaneous topics to end the show today. Some things that were also announced during the E3 conference. So we were not sure on this before if there was going to be some sort of death penalty, but it is confirmed there is a death penalty now. Basically, you have soul gems. If you don't have a filled soul gem in your inventory and you die, you can't resurrect yourself. You can also use said filled soul gem to resurrect someone else in your party that is dead. If you do not have a filled soul gem, you will travel back to a way shrine and lose durability on your gear. So, There you go. There is a death penalty. They said it wasn't going to be like a crazy, ridiculous penalty, but just an incentive to really not die, which is good. There needs to be an incentive to not die, otherwise people don't really care. So, I think it's good.
Dying sucks in any game. I mean, it's downtime, and that
Right.
sucks.
Definitely. And yes, someone was asking if it is cross-platform. It definitely is not. Every system is separate.
Segregated servers. Yep.
Yeah, segregated servers for sure. So currently, right now, there's also no controller support for the PC, but they have not ruled that out. That's also something they said during the conference, which isn't really that big of a deal, but I know personally from being a full-time streamer and always sitting at my computer that sometimes it's nice to be able to plug in a controller and lean back in my chair and play with a controller. Not saying I would always do it, but it is nice to have that feature, and hopefully they add it in eventually, but currently they do not have that availability on the PC. Modding. They talked about that too, which is very cool.
Oh, yeah. Indeed.
Did you have something you wanted to say?
Well, I do, but I guess now that we're talking about modding, yeah, they've stated several times that they are going to support add-ons for UI changes and modding, etc. Based on the UI, which is great and minimalistic, it looks really good already. With modding, who knows where it can go? And they've already supported it. They say they're going to support it in-game, in-engine, but you can, change it up, do what you want. That's awesome. I think it's good.
I mean, modding's
Another
always
thing
been
that
a
was-
huge part of Elder Scrolls games, so it's great that they're already allowing at least the UI mods to be implemented. We don't know how far it's going to go from there in the future, but at least at the beginning, UI mods are there, which is cool.
Right. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of min-maxers and number crunchers that will try to put a bunch of stats and meters and crap on the screen, which will eventually become essential for hardcore players to have. That's just how games evolve, especially MMOs. But in the beginning, at least, we won't have too
Yeah,
much. But
I like that, though.
Players, modders, I kind of do too. But I also like the very beginning of the beginning stages of a game, and it's kind of, you have to use what's in front of you and the tools that the developers have given you only. And you have to
For
kind of
sure.
wait.
For sure. But
I mean, I
it's
still
good to
can
have
enjoy-
that there, and for later on,
Oh, yeah,
which is
yeah.
really good.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, timer
the
mods,
other thing-
cooldown mods, all that. Well, there's no really cooldowns in this, but there's technically no cooldowns. But I don't know how buffs and stuff work too. That could be different. We don't know anything about that.
Right. Someone earlier in chat was asking about, do we have any experience leading or owning a guild or being guild leaders? I'm sure you do, but I have a lot of experience running and leading guilds. It goes all the way back to the StarCraft 1 days when I was the leader of a clan, and we would do team battles and crap, and I'd schedule them, and I was like 13 and scheduling clan matches. It was really fun. And then of course I had my own D2 LOD and D2 vanilla clan, and then I ran a PvE and World PvP guild, different guilds in WoW over the course of 6 years, and scheduled stuff and did guild meetups, and we do stuff in game.
I'm glad that you say that as far as scheduling goes, because as much as I've done scheduling for guilds that we've ran, I am glad that I won't be the only one that will be doing scheduling from now on when we run this guild together.
Well, yeah, but you can't always just put it on your guild leader who's going to be, especially if we're going to have a giant, massive guild, because we're two, moderately popular streamers where a lot of people are going to want to come in and play with us. We're going to need guild officers that are going to take up some of that slack.
Definitely.
We need a guild officer that will schedule raids for us, and another one that will schedule times where we go into Cyril together, etc. And then we can oversee that kind of stuff. But at first, I can definitely get a guild off the ground. I think together we should totally be fine with it. So, and I already have a cool name. The old guild name that I used back in the early WoW days. The Black Wind.
The Black
No,
Wind.
the Black Wind. We roll in together. The darkness will consume.
We've been Guild Void for pretty much like every game we've played in like the past 2 years. Void. That's a good name. You like it already, I can tell. Look at your face. You dig it.
What about the Black Void? No.
What about the Black
Void. So just void, just the word void.
Just Void, yeah.
That's okay. That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's simple, but it's scary. Like Void. You're scared right now.
I am a little nervous.
No, but honestly, like I've led guilds for a long time too. During my time in college, I ran 2 different guilds in WoW, both leading raids and all that garbage. I ran 500-person guild in Star Wars, did all that stuff, did all the raiding there, all the endgame stuff there, and I mean, we both have plenty of experience. I can hear my dog barking upstairs. I'm sure everybody can hear that. That's fantastic.
He sounds lonely.
He sounds lonely. All right, so the last part that we had to talk about was friendship bonus, and whatever their system is for this. It sounds super weird, but apparently there's some system in the game where you have some sort of token or something that you give to someone else, and then that person gives you their token. And then if you're doing things together, whether it be leveling, PvP, etc., we don't know everything it is, but you get a bonus, experience bonus. Maybe it's an alliance point bonus. We have no idea, but basically it gives you a bonus if you share your friendship token or whatever it is with someone else.
If you emote getting down on one knee in Daggerfall and you hand me a friendship ring, I will proudly wear it. I will hand you my Letterman jacket, and we will waltz off into the wilderness, killing things.
There can only be one
hand.
friend. There can only be one friend, though. You only have one token.
And I wonder if the Jonas Brothers are going to play and give each other rings. Promise ring. Remember the promise ring fiasco? Those poor Jonas Brothers, so famous and good looking, and they're not even having sex. That's sex for them. But yeah, friendship rings. I'm really excited about them.
It's a little bit it's a little bit weird, to be honest.
It's so weird.
But whatever.
Their refer a friend, play with a friend, WoW kind of thing, just to get more people to play.
It's kind of creepy, but kind of hot, I guess.
I promise to raid with you forever.
And I guess the very last thing is your horses can hold gear. We talked about horses previously in one of our podcasts. And that is something that was revealed during E3 was that they can hold gear. Now, what that means, I don't know. Like, there hasn't been any confirmed thing on mounted combat as far as horses go. So apparently, them just holding your gear just seems a little, I don't know.
Portable stash. That's
weird.
cool, man.
I guess portable bank. I have no idea. Can your horse die though? Like that would suck.
I doubt it. It'll probably just poof, disappear if it takes damage, or if you're running through Cyrodiil on your horse and someone shoots you with a poison arrow and you're taking dot damage and you're still running, and then the damage threshold goes too high, the mount will disappear, you'll get knocked off your horse.
I mean, that's generally how it works for most MMOs, but from the Elder Scrolls side, I mean, your horses could die unless you had, of course, the overpowered horse. So
welcome to an MMO, buddy. So
I want the horses to be able to die. Like, no, I gotta quickly remove my helm that I just acquired.
Not Buttercup.
I want horses to be able to die. I'm gonna be the guy that stands up on the mountain with like a bow and arrow and snipes horses in the head as people are riding through. It's gonna be great.
I've been feeding that mount for 8 levels. That would suck if a rebuyer mount. Oof, that would blow.
Oh,
I can't
gosh.
wait to feed my mount apples and sweet rolls.
Sweet rolls. Sweet rolls will make your horse definitely run faster, but get fatter at the same time. Because it's going to get them hyper, so. I'm going to feed my horse poison and see what happens.
I think what the bottom line of this episode is that I got to play ESO and you didn't.
You know, you did.
Dude, I want to play it again so bad. I've been talking to my roommates. That's all I want to do. I just want to play the fucking game. I want it right now. It's good. It's a good game, guys. I'm excited. Get excited. It's awesome.
Yes,
I'm
get
not being
excited.
paid to say that. I'm saying it for free. That's how much I like it.
Question. So Deagen, guild leader, sure. What about raid lead? I answered that question already. Yes, I've led raids in WoW through new content and coming up with our own strats. I did the same thing in Star Wars through new content and coming up with our own strats.
Yep.
We've got plenty of experience as far as how progression goes and the progression grind. So I'm not going to say our guild's going to be full of elitist people that want to be part of a progression guild, but we will have people in our guild that want to be part of that. And I am a PvE player first and foremost. I love PvE. I'm not saying I don't enjoy PvP because I definitely do, but I enjoy taking down massive bosses and killing things and getting them fat loots. So I've had a lot of experience with it.
That's exactly me too.
We love doing it. It's that's what I look forward to most in MMOs for sure is PvE and endgame content.
Did you play every role whenever you did endgame combat? Did you heal, DPS, and tank over the years? Because I learned how to do all of it, and it was fun. And if I knew a raid really well, I would take control of the leadership role in a raid lead. And if I didn't know a certain dungeon or raid, someone else in the guild would take control, and people in the guilds that I've always ran or been a part of, people knew when to listen and follow, and then when to take charge and lead too. And those are the kind of people I want to play with. I think it's going to be, as long as we get a guild of like-minded people, we're going to be efficient and a well-oiled machine.
Oh, we'll definitely be efficient. I mean, we did work. Me inviting people through the stream into Star Wars was a lot of fun. We had a completely viewer-based guild, and a lot of those viewers are mods in my stream now and been here for years. So, I mean, yes, I tanked a little bit in WoW. I played a Fury Warrior most of the time. And I loved the DPS side more than the tanking side, but I had a tank set, and I could tank when I needed to. And I understood how to tank. I understood how to DPS. And I had a mage caster in there too, but playing through that, and then Star Wars, I had ranged class. I played pretty much every class in Star Wars, pretty much. So I've been on all different spectrums of the DPS as far as ranged and melee and tanking and healing, all that stuff. So I enjoy it. I didn't really enjoy healing much in WoW as much as I did in Star Wars, so I didn't really get into that much there, but
I want to say something so bad about
don't do it.
But I can't.
You poor bastard. You want to talk so bad.
I know I can't.
You tell me when we shut the stream off, and I won't tell a soul.
Okay.
I'll give you my friendship ring.
I can't say anything to you, Deagen. Come on. The government will kill me if I talk about it. Zos will send choppers, and a SWAT team will come in, take me down.
Guy comes crashing through your window. I see like a laser pointer pointed at your side of your temple or something.
You see a guy swing into the window on a rope and like slit my throat and like carry my tongue out. It's like, don't you say a word, boy. That's the last beta weekend you'll ever be a part of.
Yeah.
Come back to base. Insert it down. Insert it down. Damn it.
Oh gosh, it has been pushed back. Yeah, it's pushed back to spring of next year. So
I'm happy with that. Bring it on.
We are okay with it. As much as we want to play, everybody wants things now, right? We all want to play now, but we understand why it was pushed back. So
what I really want is to know the business model. That's what I really want to know now.
Well, they said they're close to announcing their business model at E3, so hopefully I think PAX Prime is going to be when we're going to get all that information.
They better not disappoint people. This is gonna, I wouldn't say make or break by any means, but this could definitely be the difference between a bum knee and super speed in terms of how this game's going to take off, depending on what they say for that business model. It could really jump the hype up if they say the right thing, or it could really hinder the game if they don't say the right thing. I'm nervous.
I honestly, from what I want right now, I want a $60 game and a subscription. I honestly, that's how I want it. I do not like. It's not going to be free to play. I almost stake my life that it won't be free to play. However,
Again,
I don't want the game to be a $60 and then have like an in-game shop with microtransactions. But I feel like it's going to be that. I would rather it be a subscription with nothing else that you can buy through the game.
Best case scenario for me would be a $60 box and then a $5 a month sub, and that's the best. Second thing I would like to see if it wasn't like a $5 a month kind of thing, which if millions of people bought the game and paid $5 a month, and that was successful, I don't know. I think that'd be a really good idea. $5 a month. Why would people not sub to that? I think it's a good idea. But if they didn't do like a low cost sub, it'd have to be a shop where you can buy armor dies or mounts or something like that, but nothing that, I mean, I feel like we talk about this every episode.
Yeah, I know. It's
important.
very important, and
important,
people bring it up all the time in chat too. What's the business model? What's the business model? And I know right now the most profitable business model is free to play with microtransactions, but at the same time,
screw that. It kills it for me.
I do not think this game will be free to play. Now, you say, but if you say $60 for the game and then you have even $5 a month, which is extremely cheap, really, for $5 a month for a game that you realistically is probably going to engulf my life, well, at least my gaming life. I mean, $5 a month is nothing for the amount of time you'd be putting into the game, and that alone, between the $60 and the $5 a month, is going to make them as much money as a completely free-to-play model with microtransactions would probably make in general anyways. So I would rather it be that way, and then that way everybody in the game is on level playing field. Nobody's buying anything. I don't care what it is. Just you either go find it or you make it or craft it yourself. That's what I want.
Yeah, and straight up, whenever it's the subscription model too, you're playing with people that want to be there. You're not playing with a bunch of free-to-play dudes. You're like, I'm just playing this because it's free, and screw this. I'm gonna leave whenever I want. You have a guild full of people that are only playing because it's free. When they get bored, they move on. Now, if you have a subscription-based game, you're in a guild with people that want to be there, paying to be there and play and enjoy themselves. Yeah, you're in a world of people that are paying to be there and enjoy themselves, instead of just jumping on or off the bandwagon as they see fit because it's free and they can spend $1 here or there to buy an armor or something. Like, screw that. I want it to be something where you have to make a little bit of an investment to get a better experience, and I'm fine with that. Maybe I'm old school when I think that, but that's just my...
No, I think that's a great point.
My train of thought, yeah.
And I know, Feel the Power, you've been saying a lot that you think that they're going to lose a ton of players if they go subscription-based, but honestly, I don't think they will. The amount of people right now that are behind this game that would pay, X amount of money to just be able to get in and play right now is a lot. And a small subscription like $5 a month is virtually like, that's cheap, okay? That's like, don't go out to McDonald's one time, once a month. That's your subscription. It's cheap.
Yep.
Either way, yep. I don't know what they're going to do. We don't know what they're going to do yet, but I would assume that come PAX Prime, we're going to know a lot more about this game than what was... I mean, E3 is a pretty big conference, but PAX Prime is going to be...
It's going to be big.
Huge.
I'm going to be there trying to get as many beta codes as possible. They better be giving them out.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go hit up the table and see what we can get for you guys. That would be awesome if we could get some stuff. All right, guys. Well, Jordan, you got anything else you want to discuss before we wrap this up?
Final thoughts. Based on what I've seen, guys, over the next 10 months, that's a very long time. There is a lot of time in that 10 months for them to polish and make the game better than it already is, from what I've seen. From a very early build of an open beta, I'm telling you right now, it's it's got potential to be huge. And it looks gorgeous. It's fun. I'm thinking about characters and builds that I want to do while I'm not playing. So that means I'm actively thinking about the damn game when I'm not playing it. That's good. That's a good thing to have. That's rare for me. And that's coming from a hardcore picky gamer. So I'm telling you right now, they can only make this thing better in the next 10 months than what it is. And that's already good. So get your patient pants on, nice and tight.
It seems like they're at the point right now where it's more polished than anything, which is good.
Oh, yeah. There's still this. They've mentioned E3. There's still some content. They have to work out probably some end game stuff and voice acting kind of stuff, maybe a couple of questing kind of stuff. But really, it's just how do we make the animations better, combat more fluid and tight.
Yeah,
that's what they're going to be working on. And they have 10 months to do it. They have 10 months to get it right. I am so confident based on what I've seen and when they're releasing that they have no excuse not to be perfect with launches. And if it's not, it's their fault. Hardcore. That they wasted their time and you know, getting the wrench and tightening those bolts, because right now they have plenty of time to make this thing perfect and something that people are going to want to play for a decade, hopefully. So yeah.
Well, I'm super excited.
And
you know, from your brief description of what you were able to see in the game, I mean, I'm so pumped for this game. I'm at one side of me, I'm like super frustrated that they moved it back. Okay, because from a streaming standpoint, the winter months are generally much more difficult monetarily for streamers. So I was really hoping to have ESO during those months, but now, I mean, I understand why they push it back, and I get it, but at the same time, like, balls to you.
Yeah. You know what? If we can get it, if they eventually open up the beta to PC and Xbox and not just PC or just PS4 rather, we'll obviously be able to play in open beta. So we're gonna be playing before spring 2014. I have
definitely
that feeling. So that's good. But until then, we're just gonna have to keep doing this podcast and keep people excited. I mean, think about how many episodes of the ESO podcast we're gonna have.
A lot.
Until next spring. That's a lot of episodes. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. This is gonna get tough. Dude.
We're gonna be getting into like some really obscure topics. You know, that's a really good thing to bring up before we leave. Okay, so you guys can see my Twitter above me and Jordan's Twitter above him. You can also see our Twitches, right below our faces. Please, if you guys have questions, generally we do our best to read the chat while we're discussing topics, but sometimes it's really hard to come up with a solid answer to one of your questions when it's thrown out on the fly. So if you have questions geared towards me or Soma or either of us, doesn't matter, put it on my Twitter or his, and we will add it into the podcast, and it'll be one of our topics. So please, if you have really cool questions that you don't know about, whether it's a lore question, it could be anything to, new monsters that might be in the game. It doesn't matter. It could be some weird question. It doesn't matter. If it's a question that we feel like we can get some meat out of, we'll put it in the next Elder Scrolls Online podcast, and we will make sure your name gets thrown out for giving us the topic.
Right, and let's be honest here. I mean, if the release date is far off now, and we don't know when open beta is going to be around for PC, so we are going to need your guys' help for material to talk about. There's only so much we can say without a lot of credible source for us to pick out of. So this is where you guys come in. Please tweet at us and think up some good questions for us to really talk about, because I could talk about ESO all damn day. It's that awesome to me. So make sure you guys pump us up with some good questions, and definitely. I hope to keep doing this every Monday for years to come. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, we obviously are having a lot of fun with this podcast. I think you guys are enjoying it. The feedback we've gotten on it so far has been great, and we really, really enjoy doing it. So we're gonna keep doing it, and send us those topics. But that's it. We got nothing else. Again, this was the Elder Scrolls Online Podcast number 4.
Indeed.
We really appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for watching, dudes. Peace out.
We'll see you next week.